Hi, my name is Koku with blackfilm.com. I'm here with Carl Weber, Nikaya D. Brown-Jones, and Trey Haley, writer, executive producers, and director of the BET Plus series, The Black Hamptons, and The Family Business. Thank you all so much for joining me.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you so much. So I did get a chance to watch both shows, and I think this is just absolutely amazing that someone can, well, all of you can really be working on two projects at once. How in the heck? Because I think about things like just even trying to prepare questions for an interview, and like that's a lot of work trying to dig into something. You guys are simultaneously working on two series. I don't even understand your world at all and how you're even managing that. Who wants to talk about that?
Yeah, Nikaya.
Well, you know what? This is what we prayed for. So
yes.
So when God gives you what you pray for, you know, you jump right in, you rise to the occasion, and it's been all joy. Working with Carl Weber, you know, it gets no better than that. The material is there, and then working with Trey, you know, as a phenomenal director, and just being able to get the most out of our cast. It's just been a great experience. I mean, it's when you're working with people that you love, and everybody's kind of family, and like you said, Family Business is going into season 4. So we've known these people for a long time. And then to be able to work with icons on Black Hamptons, like Vanessa Bell Calloway and Lamont Rucker, it's just all joy. So the work becomes play. And that's kind of how we have a good time and get through it.
That's amazing. And Carl, I have to ask you, because, you know, you're imagining these characters and, you know, on pages as you're writing these best-selling books, and then they come to life as these characters now on our screens. Like, what is that like for you, transitioning from writing for books, then going into television, and just even looking at, as you just said, like these people that are working on these projects, you know, they're not small names.
Well, you know, my father told me a long time ago, act like you've been there before. So working with those guys, I mean, we, like Nikaya said, we're all family, so that never gets in the way. But going from books to film, there without question is a difference. But the fun part about it is, because they're books that I wrote, I can make sure that the things that the fans, and I know the fans like, or in the television shows or in the film. So they never get shortcutted. A lot of times people go, oh, the book is always so much. And yeah, okay, you get that little bit of detail, but we're about as close in adaptation as you're going to get in continuing the storylines. I mean, obviously, there are times we have to change things. You know, it could be an actor got sick. It could be, you know, something had to change, but we stay as close to the books as possible, and that's the fun part for me. You know, I'm working with two people that have given me, over the last 10 years, we actually started working together in 2012. They've given me a first-class education in filmmaking, and you know, I have to give everything that I've learned to them, because every time I turn around, they're teaching me something new. There's always a new teaching moment. And, you know, I hope they can consider, or the thought process of that, you know, I've risen to the occasion from not just being a writer, but to learning how to produce and help them with their jobs as well.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's great. And Trey, I mean, speaking to you as well, you know, you're not a stranger to directing as well. So just as what, you know, just reflecting on what Carl just said, you know, when you're working with somebody who may be newer to the space than you are, is that somewhat challenging, or do you welcome that? And I know you all, and I love that, you know, family keeps coming up, and I know how you all have been able to create that space, but I'd love to hear what you think about that.
Yeah. Well, first of all, working with Carl, obviously, just take bringing in these stories. And one of the things I think, you know, Nikaya and I, when we created Try This, and one of the things we always wanted to do was, you know, work with other visionaries and creators, helping them to bring their ideas to life in front and behind the scenes, you know. So this fit right with what we do. We're a collaborative group of people, and I always welcome it. It's actually really fun, and the challenge is fun because it's getting in other people's brains, seeing how other people's perspectives, and, you know, there's as a director, you know, of course you see something one way, but even on set, working with actors, working with Carl, hearing the other perspectives, all it does is enhance the vision, opens me up to understanding a different perspective, even with books, I'm understanding that, I might think I'm going to shoot it this way, do this, going to add this. And then I'm realizing there's the details though to the book. People need to still connect the book and you're thinking like the director, creative, and then it's like, oh, but bring it in because we still got to connect this to the book, and make sure that the audience, those who have never seen, maybe read the book, but so many people know this, like for the family business, so many people know this. So those small details are really important because it ties it all back in. So yes, the collaborative part is always welcoming, no matter whether it's someone who's been doing this 100, times or the first time. I love it.
Yeah. And one thing I wanted to add to that is that being at BET, our network, has just been beautiful because they allow us to make sure that Carl's voice is heard. Sometimes when you're working with, different networks or other distributors, they may not understand the culture as well. And BET definitely gives us the freedom to support one another and have authenticity in the stories that we tell.
So then I say they don't like butt in and say like, you guys should do this. They really are hands off and allow it to.
Yeah, but they'll read it themselves and they'll get into it themselves and they may give us suggestions, but it's within the same scope of where we're going. And so
that's great.
Yeah, it's a great marriage. Doing these two shows with them and being able to have our voice be authentic.
I think one of the things I really like about both series too is that you are giving people a chance to act. Like, first of all, like we said, there is that legacy talent, right? Yeah. Those people with those names, like, okay, we got Vanessa Bell Calloway on this thing, like for real, Yeah. But at the same time, you have this opportunity for people that are seen as like reality show stars. But then you have Tammy Roman and you have Black China who are acting and authentically are acting in these roles. Right. Yes. And it's like, well, why can't they act too? This is something that they've also wanted to do improve, but people may not often give them a chance because they see them as reality stars only. And that's not fair to them either.
Yes. That was definitely, it's always been important to us. Like you said, we have Ernie Hudson and we have Valerie Pettiford and we have Michael Jai White and Darren, like the list goes on and Javicia, and the list goes on and on and on. But it's always been important to us to get those fresh faces or to get faces that people may know, but they haven't known in this light. And, and to help them to be their greatest self. That's been always been a mandate for Tridestin. And Carl came in with that same mindset of, we don't always have to follow what everyone else is doing. We look at these characters and who would play the character best. What I'm saying? If the character's a fish out of water, let's go for somebody that really knows what that feels like and can have fun with it. At least Neil, like, her and Vanessa, the scenes that they have together, it's like, and we're fans of these characters and the material too. And we want the best person to shine. And whether that best person is a name you already know or somebody that killed the audition. Yeah. It's important to us to allow everyone to be their greatest self once they get these roles.
And Carl, I have to ask you about, it's so fun to watch, obviously, but, I'd have to ask you about just the backdrop here with both of these shows. This is some real fancy stuff.
Yes.
Everybody wants to know about the money, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, with the Black Hamptons, we have been talking about this for a few years, and the three of us have spent some time in the Hamptons together. So we wanted to show that historic aspect, but at the same time, Nikaya has talked about, watching soap operas in Dallas and
Dynasty.
things like Dynasty and stuff like that. And I watched those same shows, and we were really looking for a lot of people compare us to, another show on another network. But we really just wanted to make a Black Dynasty or a Black Dallas. We want Vanessa and Elise to be, those beautiful, elegant, expensive women. And then, but also have that business aspect going on in the background, like with Lamon's character and with Karan and Mike Merrill's character. So I think we found a really, really happy marriage. I don't know what the networks.
Can I add about our crew? Because Ronnie, Myra, we have an amazing costume designer, set designer. Like our locations, Carl is very, when he writes, he thinks about the location that we're going to, or the boats and the yachts. But we have an amazing crew, and Trey, we sit down with our crew and, you know, look at the material, and Dr. Lana, our co-producers, are, I mean, honestly, it's teamwork makes the dream work to make this show, especially both shows, to be honest, you know, look, as one of our producers say, high budget. He's always, you know, saying, you know, how do we make the best quality show, you know, with every resource that we have. And it's having a great, not only a great cast, but a great crew and a great team that's all on that same excellence, you know, model.
Absolutely. I'm glad you spoke to costume and set design, because, I mean, first of all, Nikaya, your hair looks damn good right now anyway. I'm like, oh. But it looks so good. But I wanted to credit you all with, because a lot of times it shows you find that struggle, right? Where people often even will make fun of it on social media, where the hair and makeup just ain't right. On this show, everybody looks so good. They're lit well. The hair looks great. The makeup looks great. So I see that you all definitely.
And we've been working with this team. Like Carl said, we've been together, you know, working on movies before this, you know, over 10 years. And Trey and I've been together over 20 years. And so through the years, we built a team of really the best in the business. You know, every day that we wrap, we said we wrap the best crew in the whole wide world, because we really believe that. And our crew is diverse, and our crew has a lot of Black women running things, and, you know, just Blackness, people of color, all, you know, all races and creeds. And so everybody's able to give their greatness to what we're doing. And I, you know, thank God it shows.
It definitely shows. And I'm just so glad. I'm actually very honored to be in the room right here with all of you. It's always such a great conversation when you get to talk to people behind the scenes and really kind of understand how your minds work and how these productions are put together. And I agree with you. I think BET Plus is a very good home. Everyone that I speak to is always really pleased with how their work is valued and how it is shown. And you guys just chose the right place. I mean, it shows.
Thank you. And you know what? We're fans of Black Film too. And I just want to thank you guys for always, through the years, you've always supported us, and we appreciate that.
Thank you. And I tell you what, it is definitely organic, because I'm really watching, you know, so it's always great when you get to be like, okay, so now, Carl, I got to do my homework and actually watch the books, right? And do that comparison thing people tend to do. Once again, my name is Koku with blackfilm.com, and we have season 4 of The Family Business is out September 1st, and the Black Hamptons premiered on the 25th, new series, with episodes 3 and 4 premiering September 1st as well, only on BET Plus. Thank you all so much for your time. It has been such a pleasure and honor to speak to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you want to see more content like this on blackfilm.com, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell.